Let me ask you something. What if I told you that the way you are learning English right now might be the exact reason you are not improving? I know. That sounds uncomfortable. It might even sound frustrating after all the hours you've put in. But stay with me. Because if I had to start over today from zero, I would do everything differently. I remember a specific Tuesday. I was sitting in a small coffee shop in London. I had my grammar books on the table, a highlighter in my hand, and I felt proud. I knew the difference between the past continuous and the past perfect. I felt like a scholar. Then the barista looked at me and said, "Do you want any room for cream?" Silence. My brain didn't just freeze, it crashed. Room for cream? Is he asking about a hotel room? Is the cream staying overnight? I knew 5,000 words, but I couldn't understand a 4-word sentence in a real-life situation. I felt like a fraud. I realized that understanding English in a book is like looking at a picture of swimming, while speaking English is like being thrown into the middle of the ocean. Today, this is a safe space. No grammar pressure, no fear of mistakes, just real English and real stories. I'm going to show you how to move from knowing to doing. The biggest mistake I made, and maybe you're making it too, is that I learned English with my eyes, not with my mouth. Think about your day. How much time do you spend reading subtitles? How much time do you spend looking at vocabulary lists? Now, how much time do you spend actually moving your facial muscles to produce English sounds? For most of us, the ratio is 90% input and 10% output. That is a recipe for failure. I used to spend 3 hours a day memorizing irregular verbs. I could write them perfectly. But when it was time to speak, my brain was busy downloading the information from my memory to my tongue, and the connection was too slow. If I had to start again, I would treat English like a sport, not a history class. You don't learn to play football by reading about the physics of the ball. You learn by kicking it. I would stop trying to know English and start trying to muscle memory English. If I started from zero today, the first thing I would change is my goal. I used to want to sound smart. I wanted to use words like nevertheless and subsequently. I thought that using big words would hide my accent. I was wrong. Fluency is not about big words. It's about speed and confidence. Look at the most successful non-native speakers in the world. Business leaders, athletes, actors. They don't use complex grammar. They use power English, short, punchy, clear sentences. Instead of saying, "It is of the utmost importance that we arrive punctually," just say, "We need to be there on time." Simple English is powerful English because it reduces the chance of making mistakes and increases the speed of your delivery. When you speak simply, your brain has less weight to carry. You can focus on the person you are talking to rather than the grammar book inside your head. Another big mistake I made was waiting. I kept saying, "I will speak when I'm ready." Let me be honest with you. That day never comes. You don't get ready and then speak. You speak to get ready. If I had to start again, I would speak from day one. But here is the secret. I wouldn't speak to people at first. I would speak to myself. Your brain has a security guard. When you are in public, that guard is on high alert. It says, "Don't say that. You'll look stupid. Your accent is terrible." This shuts down your fluency. But when you are in the shower, or driving your car, or walking alone, the guard goes to sleep. That is your training ground. I would narrate my life like a movie. Now I am opening the fridge. I'm looking for eggs. Oh, we're out of eggs. I should go to the store later. It sounds silly, but you are training your brain that English is safe. You are building the bridge between your thoughts and your voice without the fear of judgment. If I had to learn English again, I would throw away the 3-hour study sessions. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Here is the exact daily plan I would use to become fluent in 6 months. 5 minutes of shadowing. Listen to a native speaker, a podcast or a video, and repeat exactly what they say while they are saying it. Copy their emotion, their pauses, and their melody. This isn't about words, it's about the music of the language. 10 minutes of free talk. Pick a topic, your favorite movie, your job, your dreams, and talk about it for 10 minutes straight. Do not stop to look up a word. If you don't know a word, explain it using other words. This builds your fluency survival skills. 5 minutes of active listening. Listen to something difficult and try to write down just 3 new phrases, not words but phrases, that you can use tomorrow. Let me leave you with this. You don't need a better app. You don't need a more expensive teacher. You need permission. Permission to be bad at English today so you can be great tomorrow. Permission to have an accent that tells the world you have a rich culture and a second language. I wasted years waiting to be perfect. Don't make my mistake. Start being imperfect today. Because one day, very soon, you will find yourself in a conversation, and instead of translating, you will just be talking. And in that moment, you will realize that you didn't just learn a language, you found a new version of yourself. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. Stay brave, stay consistent, and I will see you in the next episode.